Just got to Starbucks, got home from school. Today is finally Friday, thank God. It's Friday, February 28th, the last day of the month actually. Tomorrow is March 1st. How in the world did that happen? Hello. But today is gonna be the start of a new vlog. Because it's the weekend, because I'm officially done with all of my tests, I'm going to be taking you along for a character outlining vlog. So this is gonna be all where I talk about characters, outlining, and figuring out specific details, including the names of my characters, which are currently TBD, and maybe, just maybe, the title of this book. Maybe. There's a giant question mark there because I have no idea if that's actually gonna happen or not. I'm still thinking. There's too many variables to consider. So we shall see. Update is later. I don't usually make these updates standing up, but I just had to update you. I officially came up with a name for my female main character. I came up with it during, I don't even remember, I came up with it during some class, as I usually do, because all of my best ideas come during class. But her name, the FMC's name, is going to be Natalia Serenelli. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. I'm like so obsessed with that. It's perfect. I'm so in love. I think it just fits her and so much who she is, and I wanted her to be able to have a nickname of Leah, which the love interests are gonna call her, as well as Nat, which her sister is gonna call her. So I wanted nickname possibilities, but I also just love the name Natalia, and then like Serenelli, there's some mystery there. That's her last name. You'll see later. But I'm like obsessed with it. I think it's perfect and it's beautiful. And it fits her character and her personality perfectly. So I'm so excited about that. I also finally have some inspo pictures. So I'll flash them up on the screen. This is what I imagine Natalia to look like. I'm like obsessed. Like making edits of her is gonna be so fun. But I think just by the pictures, you could kind of tell what kind of vibe she gives off. Very like cotton candy, sweet, shy, but also like really, really intelligent. That's her vibe. I'm obsessed. I still don't know what the MMCs are gonna be called yet, but I'm working on it. So this was a huge, huge step forward though, and a huge leap. So I'm very, very excited. Now I just need to update my brain dump and add in her name, because I was just putting FMC in brackets, but now I can officially replace those with her actual name, Natalia. So I'm super excited.
Cause you packed your bags, had your heart set to roam. When you left for Georgia, said your friends didn't want you, but I swear I do. Say what we are. Time's not a problem. Do you think we were moving too fast? Guess we weren't meant to last. I can't move on from that. I don't have the words
Another update for you guys. Today is currently Sunday, March 2nd. I'm home alone right now and trying to take advantage of that by working on the character profile for my new work in progress. I mentioned in a couple clips ago that I officially have developed the female main character's name. Her name will be Natalia. And I'm just super excited about her. I believe I showed you guys some character aesthetics, what she will look like. And so I used those, but also I spent the last hour like scouring Pinterest to make an official Pinterest board for her. And so that has more than like just the descriptions. It has like just kind of aesthetics of things about her. I don't want to give too much away, but let's just say that, I think I can say this, some of her hobbies include like baking, gardening. She's very into winter. Like, I think I can say this too, this isn't a spoiler, she was born on the winter solstice. And then there's like a big traumatic event in her life that happens on Christmas Eve actually. So like Christmas and winter is kind of a big part of her character, just a big part of who she is and like what happened to her, what shaped her. So of course I had to include some photos of that. And then also her role in this like FBI secret society group that I'm planning. She is like the hacker in the group, like the designated hacker, because she's super good with technology, super good with computers. So her role is essentially the hacker. So I put some aesthetics of that. So I'm so excited. It looks so good. Like, trust me guys, it looks so freaking good. Like, it's adorable. It's just like, I was scrolling through it, I'm like, this is Natalia, this is Natalia, this is Natalia. Like, the vibes are there. And I think it's really gonna help me when I start writing down the line. I think it's gonna help me really get into her energy and just kind of what she brings to the table. She's very different from any other character I've ever written, like in my entire life. So I think having all of those aesthetics of like what she likes and kind of her pivotal role throughout the story is truly gonna help. If you guys are interested, unfortunately the board is not public at the moment. Trust me, it will be public at some point eventually. It has very classified details, such as well, her name isn't classified, and like her appearance, because I did reveal that earlier in the vlog, but like the official title of the book is there. Okay, I don't know if it's official. I'm like 95% sure I like it, but I still don't know, which is why I'm holding off on announcing it yet. Because why would I announce something that isn't going to be final, and then you guys might get the wrong idea, and then if I change it, because it's totally subject to change, I haven't even started writing the book yet, then it's gonna confuse all of you. So I'm not announcing it yet because it's not final, but what I have is on there, and just like some more specific, somewhat spoilery elements are on there. And I'm gonna do sections. So every character, once I finish outlining them, the final step before I outline a new character is to make a Pinterest board for them. So because I actually just finished outlining Natalia's character, why did I forget her name? Oh my gosh, that's really bad. Natalia's character earlier today, this morning, I made a Pinterest board, and that was like her last step. And then after today, probably tomorrow, I will work on planning out the 2 MMCs, because there are going to be 2. So then I'll like outline them, and I have a whole character profile, and then once I'm done with them, then I'll make their Pinterest board, and like it'll be sections, so it'll be like one big board and like split up with all the different characters. So anyway, I don't feel comfortable making it public yet. Don't really want you guys to see it yet, but probably when I start writing, so probably more in the summer. Few more months. Once I have everything outlined, everything will be in there, organized, and I will have hopefully revealed all of those details that are listed in the Pinterest board. Then I can make it public, and then you guys can find it. So don't try stalking my profile and looking for it, because you will not be able to find it yet. But anyway, speaking of character profiles, the entire reason I wanted to make this update was to actually I wanted to read something off of Natalia's character profile. Now, in case you don't know, character profiles are a huge part of how I do my character outlining. I actually got this template from Abby Emmons. She's an amazing, super talented author, but also like really educational author tuber in the community. I look up to her a lot. I literally binge all of her videos. She has a video on pretty much everything. And she's just really, really helpful, and her tips make so much sense. They're easy to comprehend. Like, I literally love her channel. And so I got this template off of one of her videos because she's super big on like outlining and all of that. And so there's like, it's broken up into sections. I don't want to show you guys because I have all of Natalia's like secret info on here, but it's broken up into sections. So it's like the profile bio, which is essentially where I do like full name, nickname, if there is any, age, occupation, or just like kind of role in the story. And when I say that, I don't mean like female main character, male main character. I mean like, what do they do? So like Natalia, she's a student because she's 16, but she's also in this like FBI organization. She's also the hacker. So I just wanted to kind of list that in there. Her appearance, I go into detail about their appearance and then their sexuality. And then the next section is profile characteristics. So that's like personality, hobbies, strengths, weaknesses, quirks. And then the last one is like the more character arc focused sections. So that's backstory, present story, and end of story. So essentially you're just supposed to describe like their backstory, present story, so like kind of what they do, which I usually leave that one blank because I do a very, very in-depth bullet point and chapter by chapter outline, which kind of covers what happens to them and what their actions do so that they're not a punching bag for the plot. And then end of story, like where they're at the end of the story, so you can really map out your character growth, which is super important. The entire reason I wanted to come on is because I wanted to read Natalia's weakness. Well, she has a couple, but like mainly because I use Enneagrams to help outline my characters. If you don't know what an Enneagram is, just look it up. It's really hard to explain. I don't really know how to best describe it, but just look it up. But essentially it's like personality types. So there's 9 of them total. So if you are familiar with them, Natalia is going to be an Enneagram 5, which is actually called the Investigator, which is perfect. But essentially an Enneagram 5 is they're very perceptive, they're very independent, they're very self-reliant. They don't typically like to ask for help. They like to just always be in control, do everything themselves. Their fear is to be incapable. Like, that's just who they are, and that's very, very much Natalia. So going along with that, her weakness is she struggles with asking for help because she prefers to be independent and only rely on herself. Also isolates herself for emotion regulation and pushes people away and doesn't get too attached because they might leave or she might lose them. And she overthinks everything. So I'm just sitting here writing that. And that's also like very loosely woven from like typical weaknesses of Enneagram 5s. But also like just based on who I am trying to write her to be within her character arc, her character development, the growth. And she needs to start out as being like that because that's a big part of, you know, the love triangle. And I think I was watching a video also by Abby Emmons, I believe. Literally, she has a video on everything. She's amazing. But she has a love triangle video. It's a little bit old, but it's still, all the tips can be applied easily. And she was talking about how when you're writing a love triangle, which I think I've said this 1,000 times, but if you're new here, this book does in fact have a love triangle, but it's like a twist on your typical love triangle, so don't get scared. But basically, like when you're writing a love triangle, you want to think about why is the main character in this situation? Like what part of him or her is holding them back to where they can't just freaking choose one person? Like why, what misbelief or flaw or fear is instilled in them that's making them so indecisive where like they're caught in this web between these two people, or even more if it's like a love square or something. But like, you have to have something. You can't just be like, oh, I like this guy, I like this guy, whichever one should I choose? Like, no, that's why readers get so annoyed with love triangles, because the main character oftentimes is low-key like stupid like that and like annoying, and it's almost like pick me energy, and like I think that's so many people hate it because it's like, be so for real, girl, what are you doing? So I was trying to dig into like Natalia's fears and like the root of why she's stuck in this love triangle to begin with, so I can make it as realistic as possible, and so that people don't call her a pick me and people don't get annoyed with her regarding this, hopefully. And it was because she fears losing either of them, because every single person she's ever loved in her life has either left her or always gets taken from her. And I'm not gonna say who. I've actually worked out 2 different scenarios with that, with one person being taken from her and the one person she's close to, like blood related, leaving her. So she just has a lot of that kind of trauma, and like that's really messed with her mind. And now she's like, I don't want to get too attached to people. Like, I don't want to let people in to my inner circle because everyone else always leaves. Like, no one else values me enough or values my feelings enough to actually stay, or they get taken from me. Like, what's the point of taking the time to bond with people and like start to love people if I know they're always gonna leave? Like, that's how everyone else in my life has been. It's a pattern, like whatever. That's her perspective on it. That's her mindset. And I think I was planning something earlier, I'm not gonna say what, but with her backstory. Still didn't finish her backstory, that's a whole other thing, but with that like really feeds into her fears. But yeah, her weaknesses of just like struggling to ask for help. She prefers to be independent. She isolates herself and pushes people away because she doesn't want to get too attached. Like, it's very extreme and fits for her character, obviously, but extreme. But like, tiny sliver of that, I'm just kind of like, real girl, like, me too. Not to that extreme level, but I think it's always nice when you're writing a character, and even if it's their most fatal flaw, because this is Natalia's most fatal flaw that's gonna get her in so much trouble, well, let me tell you all that. But just like seeing bits and pieces of yourself and being like yes, like honestly, that's so relatable. So it's gonna be really interesting, but also fun to write that and kind of see how that transfers within her arc, because this is definitely going to affect things, and it's definitely going to get her into some sticky situations. So oh my goodness, guys. So I am honestly just sitting here in shock. Like, I don't even have words to form this update because I'm so excited and so happy right now. Today is, what even is today? Oh, I'm so scatterbrained. I just did something for Natalia and I cannot wait to share it, but that leaves me scatterbrained. So now I'm forgetting dates. Today is Monday, March 3rd, and I was super thrilled because since the quarter's wrapping up and I'm going on spring break pretty soon, I pretty much, since this past week was like so filled with tests as well, I don't have any homework today, so I was able to like immediately rush into character planning and outlining again. Like, I swear that's all that is circulating my mind at school. It's insane. But I was able to like just get to, I don't want to show this too closely, but the entire backstory for Natalia. And by the way, this isn't even all of it. This is a shortened version. I just honestly left a few things out. I did the full version on my character profile document, which I mentioned in the last clip, but this is just, my hand was starting to cramp, so this is just what I was willing to put on the page. It's the same info though, I just like to have it in 2 different places, and I think that's also a very helpful tip when it comes to outlining and brainstorming in general. Is yes, it's always nice, and especially with nowadays with everything being online, like to make documents, Google Docs, Word Docs, whatever platform you prefer to use. I use Google Docs personally, just my cup of tea, but whatever you choose to use, like just making an online document, that's great and all, However, I think it's super useful to also have a paper version. Like, this is my notebook. I don't want to show you too closely. Oh wait, I cannot show that. That's the cover, or that's the title. Oopsie. I might have to cut that part out because I don't know if that was actually visible on camera, or I might just blur it out. I have no idea. Oopsie. Forget you ever saw that. But I have this like entire notebook. It's a fresh notebook, never used it, that I'm dedicating to this book. So everything relating to this book is gonna go here. And then eventually, as I get farther along and once I start writing, I'm going to track my word counts in here. I have a platform that I use to track word counts, which I'll talk about more when I get to that point, but I also track it on paper. You know, I'll track once I start getting like beta readers and editors on the project. I'll write down their notes. Like, I just think it's super helpful to have a notebook dedicated to your book as well as documents, because sometimes for whatever reason, like, you're not always able to access your computer or your phone, or like, let's say you're going on a trip, and maybe there's no Wi-Fi, or like you're in the car or something, like the Wi-Fi is spotty, or your device dies or something, and you want to be able to work on it, but you know, you're not able to access the document. Having a notebook version to just refer to, that like you can just have with you at all times, like that's really handy, at least for me. So anyway, I always kind of copy all of my notes onto paper. So this is just the paper version, but I'm not going to read all of Natalia's backstory that I created because obvious spoilers, and I'm trying to be very cautious about that. Not that I'm even sure it matters, because everything is so tentative right now. Like, when I tell you, I will guarantee you, I will literally bet any amount of money that what I have right now in terms of like character arcs and backstories and things I'm planning, events, plot points I'm planning, when I tell you that I'm pretty sure not all of them is gonna make it in the final product, I mean that. Because if you guys see my original brain dump and like outlining document for the book that divides us, and then you compare what I wrote on there in terms of plot points and the story arc to the final book, it's insane. It is quite literally insane. But like this to the final draft, like the blood that divides us, wait, I think I actually have it on my desk. Hold on, hold the phone. But yeah, this is my, in case you guys don't know, if you're new here, this is my most recent release. This came out as of recording about a month ago, January 25th. It is a YA high school murder mystery romance, very like a Good Girl's Guide to Murder and Binding 13 coded, all wrapped up into one. This is kind of my baby. I've spent so long marketing it, but now that I have this like new book idea, I haven't really been marketing it as much, haven't really been giving it the attention it deserves, so it's getting a shout out in this clip because I think it deserves it. But anyway, if you compare like the brain dump for this book compared to the finished thing, you'd be like, is this the same project? Like, I always knew certain details, but like, oh wow, it's a crazy difference. Let me just say that. Anyway, back to this current project. Enough yapping about my other book. I think I mentioned this in the last clip. Christmas Eve and like the event of Christmas Eve plays a pretty significant role, because it's when something, let's just say something traumatic happens, and it kind of messes with the main character's head, because it's not, I don't want to say it's directly, like it doesn't directly correlate or affect her, but it, how do I say this without spoilers? It directly affects someone close to her, and then that like screws everything up for her. And you know, at that point I can say that she is 11, and in the like actual story she is currently 16. She's a sophomore, and so this happened 5 years ago, and that's kind of significant because the premise, well, not the whole premise, you know, obviously there is like the whole FBI secret society organization storyline going on, and that's going to be very prevalent. Like, I don't want y'all to think that that's like a subplot. Like, that's going to be very prevalent. However, a big part of her is that her sister Allison, she's important because she actually goes missing. She goes missing 5 years. And the thing is, the reason it's 5 years, and I'm like still a little bit conflicted on how I want to go about this, but I've decided, I think I've decided that this story is going to take place in Minnesota. Don't ask why, that is so random. Like literally, the boat that divides us was Colorado. This book is gonna be Minnesota. Originally I switched it was gonna be Oregon, but then I was like, you know what, I want somewhere more on the East Coast, where it snows, where winter is a little bit more like prominent, because that's a huge focal point that I'm weaving in, as I think I've mentioned. And so anyway, we're doing Minnesota. And Minnesota, their law is kind of like a person has to be missing at least 4 years to be considered dead. Otherwise they're just labeled as missing. Allison is presumed dead, and maybe she really is dead. She probably is. I think I should just shut up and stop talking, because I'm gonna start yapping and go on a tangent, and I'm gonna give something away that I'm not ready to give away yet. So also, if you hear people talking, like washing machine, which is right across from my bedroom, is going, and my parents are talking very loudly, so sorry about that. But anyway, to wrap this up, because I have to go eat dinner, that's a big kind of focal point, is like Allison is presumed dead, and maybe she is. They believe she is. She's been missing 4 years. Well, that's the thing. It has to be at least 4 years in Minnesota, so I'm going back and forth between whether I want it to be 4 years or 5 years. I think I've decided 5 years because, 16 minus 5 is 11, and I really want Natalia to be 11, because I don't want her to be too, like, aware of what's going on. I think a lot of where the lore comes from is, like, Natalia is young, and she doesn't really grasp the situation, because how it kind of comes about that Allison can even become missing is I have to check my outline, guys, I'm so bad at this. There is a 4-year age gap between Allison and Natalia, and so when Natalia is 11, Allison is 15. She's in her freshman year of high school, and her mom, Allison and her mom, get in this huge fight, and then she's like, I'm leaving, and then there's gonna be this whole, like, you don't have to worry about me thing anymore. And then she leaves, and then I'm planning for Natalia to, like, kind of go out, and Allison's gonna leave, and I want Natalia to be too young to even recognize, like, she's gonna let her sister go without realizing, like, the potential consequences. Like, her 15-year-old sister is meeting this, like, secret boyfriend that her parents don't know about in, like, some park, in some shady neighborhood across from theirs. And, like, obviously, if she was 12 or 13, like, a normal 12 or 13-year-old would be like, that's a little weird. Like, I have a bad feeling about this. Like, I know all the things that go on. I've watched true crime documentaries. I know the things that go down. I'm telling mom, like, this is a bad idea. I'm gonna try to stop you or something. In order for this to work, I need Natalia to, like, let her go. This will not work if Natalia is a roadblock in her plan. Allison needs to be able to leave. And so in order for her to do that, Natalia needs to be young, like, really young. Not, like, really young, actually, because, like, I don't consider 11, like, really young. When I think of really young, I think of, like, 6, 7, 8. So I don't mean that, but I mean, like, I need her to be young enough, like, not a teenager yet, still kind of a preteen, where she doesn't fully understand the consequences of what her sister is recklessly doing. Like, she doesn't understand how impulsive or immature or dangerous it is, quite frankly. And that's what's gonna kind of spiral this whole thing, and that's what's gonna kind of rocket launch the plot. Anyway, I will update you guys later, or actually not update you guys later. I will see you in the next vlog. I am so disoriented and scatterbrained. Like I said at the beginning, this is actually really chaotic. I apologize. But this whole vlog has been chaotic. It's just been a whirlwind of me, like, combining ideas. So yeah. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe, because I'm gonna be posting a lot of vlogs and cool videos like this as I continue the process. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you later. Have a great day. Bye.